Let me ask if we're live.
Okay. The broadcast is live. I can see that. We're live. Yeah.
Okay, so he says that we're live.
Okay.
Sorry. Hello, Lara. Good
Hi.
evening.
Hi,
How are
Lucy. I'm good. How are you too?
Okay, so let me make sure this volume is good. I
Okay.
think I'll use my earpiece just so that I can hear better.
Okay.
Okay, can you hear me better?
I can hear you very well.
Okay, all
Loud
right.
and clear.
So thank you. So thank you so much. It's so warm in here. Thank you so much for doing this for us, Lara.
Yeah.
Like I explained, like I explained, I see your message. Thank you. Like I explained, so much has been going on this weekend. I honestly did not know what I was thinking when when I agreed
Superwoman.
to.
Superwoman syndrome.
No. We have to actually figure out how to manage some things. But I'm grateful that you agreed. You're very gracious, and we can do something.
Yeah.
That said, our topic for today. First off, I want to let me introduce my guest. I should have gotten a proper. Oh my God. Okay, so when we're editing this, I'm going to make sure we do a proper bio this um uh before this portion of the video comes on.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm introducing my guest. She's the CEO of Asha's Clothing, and Asha's Clothing is a premium brand CEO for the corporate woman. She has a wide variety of things that she does. She's also the CEO of Mo's. Okay,
Molly's.
Molly's. This is really clumsy of me because I was doing so much. I didn't even think to properly outline this. Okay, so we're going to take out all that parts when we're editing this video.
Okay.
So please, I truly apologize. Like I said, I explained to you that we have some audience, but I'm going to be directly asking you their questions instead. So thank you for joining us on this show, Lara Fatumbi. It's a great honor to have you here. I've been longing for the day that I will have you as a guest on my show. So the shows that I've been hosting all this time have been anything but reinvention. But we're starting a new series known as the Reinvention series. This
Okay.
series is to help people who are stuck, people who have multiple talents, multiple giftings, multiple expressions, who want to also give room to that expression. That is,
Okay.
people who may be in the corporate world but also have very strong entrepreneurial vibes, people who want to go from one extreme to the other, or people who just want a slight shift and direction just to head out in the direction that they want. So I chose to become the poster child for this because my life is an example of someone who has reinvented herself more than once. And for a long time, I didn't know what it was called. I just knew that I was ready to to move on to greater heights. I was ready to explore new things about me. I was ready to rediscover myself. And one of the most visible and most memorable incidences of reinvention was when I decided to rebrand myself as a thought leader. Before now, I have been an architect and a public servant. I am not very vocal about my public servant persona. I talk about my architecture sometimes, but most of the time, especially once I came online, I became active online in 2018. Once I came online, I decided that I wanted to rebrand myself as a thought leader, and I began my journey to reinvention. Over time, I have gotten people ask me about how I commenced this journey, what stood out to me, what made it easy, what was tough about it. And I said, I'm still kind of like evolving. I know a couple of people out there who have evolved several times over and have become smashing successes at what they have done. And you were the first person that came to mind. I admire you greatly. I admire your multi octopus lifestyle. I didn't do justice, and I'm hoping that when we edit the video, I'm going to make sure we capture all that you're about because our audience needs to know what an awesome magnet you are. I will leave you to still introduce yourself and tell us your story. But you guys are lucky that um, Lara is launching this series for us. We're going to be bringing more people. We're going to be talking more about reinvention secrets. What are the things that we need to reinvent ourselves and how we can reposition ourselves for wealth and opportunities? It is with great pleasure that I introduce Omolara Fatunbi, and I thank her for being a guest on today's show. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Lara, for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. Awesome.
Yes. You chose to do this video on an odd day. I know that this is your rest day. You are usually very, very busy, and normally you take Sundays out to rest, but you chose to do this. So something must be driving you. There's something in you that, yes, yes. Even if someone says they reluctantly did it, I know that people don't just want to do something without something. There's something about passion that is tied to the reason. And I'm pretty sure you're going to tell us a whole lot about that this evening. So today our show is about reinvention, repositioning yourself for wealth and opportunity. And you came to mind because you have a fantastic story of starting from scratch more than once. Lara, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself and how you became the queen of retail? Retail. Like I said, our adjusted bio will do justice to this later. So, how did you become the queen of retail? What's your story? What's the back end story? What was your upbringing like? How did you evolve to becoming the kind of person that you are today?
Okay. Let me start by saying that I had the extra advantage of coming from a family where my mom had been in the fashion retailing business on a very big scale. And
Oh, okay.
yes, we were, you know, I wasn't interested initially, but it was by fire by force. You had to be involved one way or the other. So that was a good start, you know. But I was so sure that, incidentally, my mom was also a lawyer. So, and then I knew I was going in for law. So I was so sure that this fashion thing that she's just making me go with her to the store, do all of this, is just a waste of time, but no problem. You know, Niger moms now, you can't win. So follow I did, you know, observe I did, by fire, by force. And I'm like, anyway, let me just, when I do my law, I'll be liberated from this. So did the law, it was amazing. Went to law school. Okay, after university, I by this time my mom is in the UK, and I go there supposedly on a holiday, but she had other plans for me. Okay, work plans, did all sorts of odd jobs she had arranged for me. But and then she also made me do a job, or what some people call adache at that time. So not only was I doing these crazy
Okay.
odd jobs that I didn't plan for, I wasn't seeing the money. I was saving every dime. It was like the most
Oh
miserable
gosh.
supposed holiday of my life. I'm like, what? You know, but it worked out for my good because uh, I remember then I hadn't gone to law school, so my dad had said, "Okay, your mom says come to the UK, you will go on one condition. The minute I tell you law school has resumed, I give you a week to learn. Good? I said good. He said, okay, go. And so that was the agreement. So I was saving. I didn't know when law school would resume, so but I was happy to just be outside Nigeria for a bit. So working, saving my money, and then law school resumes. And Dad said, "Remember our agreement. Come back. I give you 1 week to land back in Nigeria." But fortunately, because mom had pushed me, and it was fire for fire pushing, which I wasn't happy about. By the time I was ready to leave, I had saved £2,000. You know, so I was able to shop. This was when naira was 250. So at that point, she said, "Okay, so you hold 1,000, buy a few stuff for yourself, hold some money, and then you are using 1,000 to start your business." My mom was a choleric. She was a firebrand. It was her way or the highway. So that was
Wow.
what I did. So that was how I bought my first. So, but at that point, I was still wondering, what do I want to do? Blah blah blah. I'm like, but anyway, where I am now, let me just do my lowest hanging fruit was just to enter Frisbee Park and go and buy clothes. I liked clothes. I knew people that liked clothes, and I assumed people would need clothes, so I did, and that was it. About 10 days later, based on agreements with Dad, I'm back in Nigeria, headed to law school. So I'm back in Nigeria. We were living in Lagos at the time. I didn't even have time to sell these so-called goods I brought, which my plan was to sell them in Lagos, which is where I was born, bred, knew everybody. But law school said, come to Abuja. So I'm like, the only way is to just carry these clothes to school and go and try and sell it. So that was what I did. And I landed in school, and it was just so interesting. You know how it is in law school. Most of the people in law school are people that you went to university with, and other friends from other
Yeah.
places that you've known over time. So I just began to tell everybody, I have these clothes in my room, like play, like joke. People are coming, and it was crazy. It was amazing. But I missed the first one. Let me tell you the first one that happened to me. It's awesome. When I look back, it's always, the hand of God is always there, but that is not always immediately apparent. So I came back, and the day I came back to Nigeria at the airport, that was the era when we had a lot of NDLE, people at the airport, and they're checking you, and I have no experience. Small question, they're asking me, I'm shaking. I didn't know what's up. So they're like, what's in your bag? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, personal things. So they checked my bag, and they're like, just being rough with me at first. And I'm like, what's wrong with these women now? They were young ladies actually. Before I knew it, they were interested in the clothes I brought. They were like, these things in your bag.
The immigration
Before I knew it,
officers.
they moved me to an inner office, and they are ransacking my thing. And in my mind, I'm thinking it's just the Nigerian thing that this NDLEA and customs people would do. I didn't understand what the aggression was all about initially. But later, they became a bit more friendly. They're like, what's in this bag? Blah, blah, blah. How much is this suit? What has this got to do with NDLEA work? You know, to cut a very long story short, they bought clothes from me that day. I landed in my house with maybe over 50,000 naira. And I was selling one suit at that time for 3,000 something. In fact, when they asked me how much, I had no price in my head. I had no experience. I'd never done this. I don't even know how much. They said, how much? I just said 3,500 or something. And they didn't price because they knew I was stupid, you know. And they bought, and they began to call their friends stationed in other uh, uh, spots around the airport area, and people were coming and coming, and I went home with the money. I sold. I've not even reached my house. Tell me that isn't.
Wow.
I mean, when I look
Wow.
back,
Wow.
that was
Wow. Like,
that was my
talk about.
entry. It was like I wasn't even prepared for what was hitting me. So I get to my house. My dad is seeing me landing with plenty naira, and he's like, "Did you bring naira from London?" I don't. I'm like, this happened at the airport. I still didn't know what I was getting into at that time. So that was the beginning. Hot entry into people that should have harassed me eventually became my friends. I didn't have enough
Good.
experience. Otherwise, I probably should have taken their numbers, taking contact, plan to
And
continue
followed
marketing
up.
them. I didn't follow up, nothing. I wasn't prepared for what was hitting me. It was awesome.
Hmm.
I entered with enough money to just be a big girl immediately. It was awesome. So I went to my law school, and again, not knowing what to really expect. The same thing. Told my friends, this is what I have. One friend will bring another friend, friend will bring a roommate. And the sales was crazy. As in, a day two, I would do like 80,000 naira in sales in 1999 in law school in Buhari. Buhari is like, you're in the middle of nowhere. I don't know
I
about
know
now, more
Buhari.
than 20,
For those
yeah,
who don't know, Buhari is an outskirts of the Federal Capital Territory. Even till
yes,
now, it is still not a lot of development has not caught up with that area. So I can
yes.
imagine in 1999 how
Mm.
far thrown out it was.
Exactly.
Wow.
And that was like the backside of the desert. But law school happened to be there. And again, I really didn't realize how much money students had. I was just using my own broke self to judge everybody. No, I was wrong. They had money to spend, and they were spending. And how much did you even really need? One person, all one person needed to buy was a suit, which by that time I had woken up from my NDLA nonsense I was doing, and I think I had upped the thing to about four something, which was more like what it should have been. And then how many people do you need to buy to sell 50, 80, 100,000 a day? And then from that point I was like, wow. I didn't want to come to this Abuja. I prayed and prayed that, the government will change their mind and let us do our law school in Lagos like we've been hoping for all these years. That didn't happen. And the next thing now, I don't want to leave Abuja because the money was coming. It was hot. I had no preparation for these things that was hitting me. Before I knew it, someone suggested that, go to town, you would even sell more. Again, every step of the way, it was the very first day I came to town to sell in Abuja. I walked into Standard Trust Bank then, on this what is now UBA, on Adetok Madimola, the one near Access Bank.
Yeah,
And the
I know
very
it.
first set of, yes, the very first set of ladies I'll meet, when they what I would usually do then, by then I'm waking up a bit, I'll wear one of the best, I'll make sure I'm looking really nice with the kind of things I'm selling. And the very first set of babes I met were literally fighting to buy from me. And one of them called me aside. She's still my friend till today, incidentally. She called me and she said, I like what all these things you brought. She said, show nobody else, I'll buy all. This was the good day when there was mad money moving in Abuja. See the
Okay.
kind of situations I always found myself. I was destined for this thing, but I
Okay.
didn't know. To me,
Yeah,
I was just like,
obviously.
I was just like,
Obviously.
ah, So it was an awesome way to enter. And let me say something about passion. Okay, passion, right? We can liken passion to how marriage was in our parents' days. Okay, see, in their time, they arranged marriages, they fixed them up. Sometimes maybe not, or families just came together and they're like, in fact, since they were born, these two had been planned for each other, and it had nothing to do with love. Love always came later. And you know the truth, those marriages, we know that they they I think they did better than what we have currently in this generation where we just go and do our own thing. This is how I see the issue of passion sometimes. Okay, it's overrated. See, when you enter an industry and you are making waves and you are seeing mad results, especially results in the bank, love will follow. Love will
Love will
follow.
follow, right?
It will follow.
Love
So
will
for me,
follow.
when I initially, I didn't plan to do this. It was just like, okay, let me try it. You understand? So I didn't do it because I was in love with it. I did it because it was my lowest hanging fruit at the time, but because I had results very quickly, in a way that I wasn't even ready for. And okay, let me give you context. Around that period, I had a dream once. You know, the oven in my house. In the dream, I was baking cupcakes, and the cupcakes were coming so fast. It was flying out of the oven. That was how this thing was. You understand? So you can't have that kind of situation or opportunity and love will not follow. So love followed. I became passionate about it. It
Okay.
was interesting and all of
Yeah.
that.
It's
So that was
actually
my
a no-brainer, really.
yeah.
Yeah, it actually, so let me come in there. It's actually a no-brainer. I mean, honestly speaking, if you're seeing results, especially results in the bank, it's natural for you to love what you're doing. So we are trying to now address the issue of people. Maybe they've done very well at what they, I don't know, because I know that at some point, even after you did well, I don't know, I can't remember now, but I think that the business took a hit and you had to go back to Lagos, and then you started from scratch now. Came back to Abuja, and you not only came back and took the city, you are now known in three continents as the go-to person for retail. What happened that caused you to lose that first business the first time? And aside from this whole Willy Willy story that you are sharing, you know what Willy Willy is? If you grow up in Port Harcourt, you would know Willy Willy. Willy Willy is like um, superstition. It sounds like jazz. This thing you are saying is like the luck, the favor, fate, whatever providence played a hand in it. Made sure if you were confused, we are not going to allow you to be confused, right?
Yeah.
So imagine why I'm saying this is because there was a point in my life I thought I had providence on my side like this too.
Mm.
I came into the design industry, and right off the bat, I started. I
Mm.
mean, I wasn't making mad money like you, but I was getting opportunities.
I didn't say mad
I
money.
was getting opportunities to.
Go ahead.
Please, it's mad money. Me, I'm hearing it. I'm hearing mad money. So but I was getting opportunities, and once I started, I became confident. I made some decisions influenced by because I didn't take permission. Let me not mention, but I made decisions influenced by people I care and I value their opinions. And then I left the active practice of design to go into the policy management of design, which is the government. And once I got in, I found out that even though we talk about passion and success and all of those things, I was not. I didn't care how successful I appeared to look. I was not. I felt strongly that I was not within my um, forte, and so I proceeded to start trying to retrace my steps back to what I used to know. But over the course of time, I eventually completely even transformed. Like what I'm currently doing now, I happened to stumble on it by accident, quite by accident. So I'm asking this because I'm pretty sure that a couple of us who have joined this live stream today are actually thinking about um, okay, so you seem to have gotten lucky. Your mom kind of like knew that you were going to be great at this and prepared you for it, and God honored her wishes and made sure you didn't have an excuse. Um, but I know that at some point things went downhill. So how did you survive that down moment, and how did you bounce back? I'm trying to encourage the ladies who are watching us today because it's important for them to know that no matter how great someone's life has been in the past, you could encounter hardships and bounce back. We are much bigger than you were, and the stories you are telling us are so inspiring. And I know that the ones you haven't even shared are more powerful than the ones that happened in the past. Do you understand what I'm asking you?
Yes, I understand. Okay.
Okay, okay.
Just so we have proper context, and coincidentally, I mean, you had arranged this meeting, a while before today, but it's so interesting what
Yes.
I'm going to talk about today because it's so relevant today. Now, like I said, this thing popped. It was like hot popcorn, it was hot. from day one. Before it started, it was hot.
One.
Because for me, being at the airport, talking to the NDLA girls, I hadn't started.
It's
But
really an amazing story. It's really an amazing story.
it was like a movie. Because I hadn't started, I hadn't fixed the price. I didn't know nothing. I was just gonna still take it home, call my sister, call some fashion advisors, let's talk about it. No. Before I could get to that point, the thing was popping, hot, you know. So it continued to pop, and then at the time I was married. No, not long after that, I got married. I think in law school. Yeah, and then because we were both students at the Nigerian law school. We were doing some things. We were doing part of it together. He was very helpful. He was an amazing marketer. So that even brought more people. But he had his own issues. Okay, and there was domestic violence, there was domestic abuse. It was crazy. So that was why I said that. Interestingly enough, we didn't, as at the time you planned that we would have this program,
We
we didn't
planned
know that
this.
Osinachi's that hadn't even happened.
In
That was not
fact,
on the table.
it's what a
But
coincidence. Yes, what
yes,
a
and
coincidence.
today that's the hottest thing trending. But that was my story. That was my story from
Wow.
99. December. I've shared my story severally that I got my first slap on the third day. Second, third day or so. Yeah, married on Saturday, got my first slap on Monday, and from there it was violence all the way. Now the red flags were there. And I've done one or two programs, talked, about some of these red flags, because this was not the first time he was violent to people that I'd seen, just not me. But I was so naive, I thought it would not be me, but it became me, because it will be you eventually. So he has fought the
Yes,
drivers,
it will
the
be.
doctors at the park, mom, the sisters, this, you are going to be next. It's a matter of time. And that was what happened. I was
It's
naive,
only
I
a
was
matter
stupid,
of
I didn't
time,
have,
yes.
it's only a matter of time. And that went on, unfortunately, for 4 years. Interestingly enough, God has a sense of humor. The day it was the fourth year, the very day it was the 4th year anniversary, was the day the marriage ended. Though at the time I didn't know, but he when he did the final domestic madness, the kind of rage I saw in his eyes, I knew that if I stayed on, two things would happen. Either he'll kill me or I'll kill him. It was going to be one of the two. So the the very next, I just slept quietly in the morning, carried my handbag like I'm just going down the street to my cousin's place, which is what I did, and never came back. You know. But by this time, things were so tough because we were both lawyers. He wanted to open a chamber, which he did with a lot of the money. So all of the proceeds, the profit, the capital, moved into this other business, okay,
Into the
which didn't
chambers.
do
Yes.
well
Okay, this
at
makes
all.
logical sense because I've been wondering. Yeah, I've been wondering what could have caused
Yes, that was it.
that break, that
Which is
dip.
what you never
Oh, I
do. You
see.
never move all of your capital to do something that
Never.
has no track record yet. Something that is not making money, then you go and
Hmm.
invest everything there. Just because you go and get this big, yeah, lawyer, nobody knows you are not a son. You go and get this 3 bedroom expensive office in Wuse to law, for that matter. Law, like seriously, nothing. There was no, you didn't get briefs
This is
to all
so
of it.
this is
So that was
so
what happened.
timely. I'm
You
really
move
I'm
money.
really yeah, I'm really happy you brought this up because a lot of people
Yes,
hide
yes.
a lot of people who start seeking for help and reinvention. I have been very
Yeah.
abused once in a very brief relationship, but I didn't have a string of relationships. So I don't have the history to me
Yeah.
directly, but I've lived with people who have experienced violence
Yeah.
against them. So I'm
It's
really happy because if you don't tell someone, they will not know what you have
yeah.
overcome.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm
It's
happy because if you're watching the replay of this class and you are going through any form of violence, please send a message. You can get help.
I
Don't stay alone. At the same time, if for any reason you have you have been covering this up for so long and you think you cannot survive yourself, your image is dented, your self-worth, your self-esteem. Please, I'm glad that our guest here has been through it and has come out of it and is shining even brighter than before then. So have hope that your future, the brightest days are still ahead of you. So if you are
Absolutely.
watching this now and that is what you're going through, please, please, please do not. I'm a life coach, and I can if I can talk to you, I can help you. I can refer you to someone who can help you get out of the situation that you're currently in. So thank you so much for being so vulnerable with us, Lara, on that topic.
Absolutely.
Yes, I'm really
Absolutely.
glad you brought it up.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Bottom line is, if
So you were
Oga
saying, yes.
beating you, walk away, leave. I didn't say it's over, but go to a safe place where you continue praying. Any other advice contrary to that is the wrong advice, because two things are likely to happen when there's constant violence when there's domestic violence. Either he kills you or you kill him, or both, which we've also
Mm,
had. So
mm,
walking away is the best thing until you go and pray. And sometimes people do reconcile and it gets better, sometimes they
a
don't.
couple,
So that
yeah.
was why
Yes,
I
sometimes.
said that when I walked away, I didn't walk away with a plan never to come back. I said, let me go, whether he'll heal from his madness. And I didn't think he did. So I never came back. And then I moved on. And then I had to, back to our talk for the day, I had to make a choice. I was a lawyer, so I could have gone to get a job, okay, in a law firm or any other job, okay? But this was the defining moment. Like I said,
Mm,
seemingly started with luck. But when I got to this crossroad, the I and the world will know if I really loved this business, if it was really true love, and if I would come back. So at that time, I'd lost so much confidence in myself, no money. I had to start all over again from the scratch. I had no clothes in the shop. In fact, the shop was locked because when I left, I ran away back to Lagos for the next few months to go and get myself back together. And when I got myself back together, I said, when I told my brother who I was staying with in Lagos, and I said, I'm coming back to Abuja, he thought it was such a bad idea because it was so, the way I ran away was so bad. I said, no, I've gotten my power back. I'm going, and I came back.
mm,
And the first person I went to meet was my accuser. My abuser. I had to go and confront him and find closure. Maybe that is not always wise, okay, because I don't even think I told anybody where I was going. So if I was killed, I would have just been killed cheaply. So that is not always advisable. But maybe go with
yes,
someone
always.
so they
Yeah.
don't kill you, at least someone knows where you are and all of that and who did it. Okay, so I went and I said, um, the key to the store is with you. I want it. Okay. And he was like, "Ah," that was like asking for nonsense. How do you ask for nothing was there? The thing was down, that been locked. No customers again, no clothes, no money, no capital, nothing. And I said, please never come here again. And that also looked like a stupid, assertion. Why would you tell me to never come to nonsense? This is nonsense. It's over. Take the key and be going. And that was all I had. I went back there, told a cousin of mine, got cleaners from her office. We cleaned the place, did everything, prayed. I had nothing. And then I'm just waiting for hope. I'm just waiting for my next move. And I my next opportunity came. Okay. And it was so funny the way it happened. People in those days, there was no Western Union, or people would, in those days when you go abroad, they will give you money to give their relations when you're coming back to Nigeria. And I had trusted people that they knew that I would use the money to buy goods. When I come back, they'll give me a week, two, to go and give the money to their various relations. That was so this opportunity came, and one or two people were ready to give me money. And so that's how I landed back, you know. And then my where I used to buy abroad to, the guy, I had a credit line going with him, that didn't go well, but he was like, you know what? I understand everything that happened. Come back. I'm going to give you again, but on a smaller scale. So, as at the time I went back, I was already used to buying 1,000, 2,000 pieces of clothes, and I went back to buy 100. And when I got there, and they would normally tell me, I'll write size 8, how many? Size 10, how many? I was used to writing to buy 2,000. And then I had to write to buy 100. I didn't know how to write. And I just began to cry in the store. And the paper they had given me to fill my list, it was tears that filled it. And that was such a defining moment. That was the at that those are the moments people say, you know what, I'm more than this, I won't do this, let me just go and look for work. But I was convinced, even though everybody I sought counsel from, whether they thought I should, resuscitate the business, said no, 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 no. Only my mom thought, give it a try. It might work. Every other person said, no, it won't work. And in any case, this thing, even this dream you even have is even too big. You're not a guy, you can't do it, you can't make it. The business, this time for this business is over. And I didn't even understand that rationale. I'm selling clothes. We'll never get to the naked point where people will be going around naked. How do you say clothing business is the time is
It's over.
but those were the kind of counsel I got, all very discouraging. But something in me just said, just go for it, go for it, go for it. And I did. And after I finished crying that day from writing my list, wiped my tears, got another piece of paper, wrote my list, bought the things, and all of that. And then I remembered that a brother of mine that was in the US also said, oh, come over. Also came, gave me $1,000, which was a lot of money then. What's good? Guess what? Came back to Nigeria with my 10 suitcases, and at the airport, all of those goods were seized. And this was borrowed money. That was such a devastating. I don't know how I survived that period because I remember that I shut it out of my brain to survive. So I don't have the details of how I coped, how I survived. All I knew was that people were after me because they had borrowed me money that I'm to give their relations, and all my goods were seized. But somehow.
So they say when
When
it rains, it pours, eh?
oh my
Hmm.
gosh, it snowed on me. It poured, it poured, and then I'm squatting with a friend at this point, and people were putting her under pressure that this babe
This is
that
someone. Oh gosh, this is terrible. Sorry,
the
sorry. I'm sorry that I'm interrupting you.
okay,
No, really, I'm just helping. I'm just trying to just imagine how badly this whole situation could have looked. From
oh,
being a very successful to being married to having enough money to actually set up a massive law firm because that's what best the law
five
firm
million.
to
It,
coming back down to where you are squatting, back down to where you are squatting. Oh gosh,
I,
it's terrible.
and people
It's terrible.
told the ladies cutting me, they're like, this babe, better tell her to leave your house. She should go back to her husband's house. To bring me back to, when I read social things on social media today, I laugh,
Social
because
media.
a lot of the people saying, why did she leave? Why? They're the same people that would tell people like my friend cutting me that, you are being in the middle of
To
husband
throw
and
you
wife.
out.
They asked her to throw me out, but she never did. She just, but she came back and said, see what this person said, see what that person said. So people make it hard for people to leave. Just that I think that personally, we all have different personality. Me, I know I have small area in me. And that strength of personality made me but not everybody lands here like that. But I was like, eh. And more so, the minute I
Hmm.
stepped out and I saw how much peace I had, I was like, oh, for what now? It's not that hard, I beg.
Hmm.
So
Hmm. Hmm.
people make it hard for people to leave. People even discourage me. First, you said don't go, stay and be praying. Now I go, you judge me. Now I try to resuscitate my business, you judge me. Now I'm squatting with someone, you said they should throw
Yeah.
me out. Like at
You-
every
Yeah.
level,
Yeah.
people are crazy. So you can't be people, you can't listen. You have to be your own biggest cheerleader at every point in your life. And so
Hmm.
I survived this period. But one amazing thing happened from that period. One of the people, Mrs. Audrey, I'll never forget her. She's a big part of my story. She heard what happened to first they knew about the domestic violence, then they knew the marriage broke,
Her
then they knew
husband.
they
Her
see
husband is one of my.
pardon?
Okay, sorry. I was saying that her husband was my dad's best man when he was
Oh,
getting
awesome.
married. They're
Oh,
childhood
such a
friends.
small world. They were
Hmm.
so amazing. They tried all they could to help me recover the goods lost. You know, Even all the people I was looking on to, my dad's friends that will help. My dad had just passed away a year before this. Nobody helped me. Nobody answered me. All of these things were learning curves, you know. Till today, I would typically never go to an office for hours waiting for you to help me or deliver me. I won't do it. Because I did that and nothing came out of it. So I'll never forget that
Nothing
learning
came
curve.
out of it.
Nothing came out. Story for another day. So Miss Aldo now said, Aldo now said, do you want to start going to China? I don't know how that question came. I'm in trouble. I owe people money. It was crazy. I was like, I said yes. She said, okay, meet me in my office tomorrow. And I meet her in her office, and she takes me to the Nigerian ambassador, meets at the time to China, Mr. Coker. And that was the beginning of a new chapter in my life. I've never been to China, and I entered China through the then Nigerian ambassador, and they were amazing. Mr. and Mrs. Coker took me around China, opened me up to China. That was the beginning of a new level I didn't know at the time.
You know,
So
so, okay, just finish. There's something that I want
not
to draw out of your
okay,
story because
okay, okay.
I'm
Go ahead.
taking notes.
Go ahead.
I'm taking notes,
Go ahead.
and
Go ahead.
I've listened to everything that you have said, from how your mom prepared you long before you knew that's what you would be doing. You know, and you talked about how she really prepared you. You know, she snuff out opportunities for you and trained you, and then almost as though she knew that this thing was going to come for you before you were ready, and so she just made sure you had something with which to trade with, to value, to exchange, right? So
Yeah,
listening to all that you have said now, I can see the hand of God over everything that you have said.
absolutely.
It sounds to me like when people have a desire to grow or to change direction, it's as though God is waiting to help them. Because it seems like whenever you have that defining moment when you say, I'm drawing it for myself now. When you say, look, I don't think I want to do this anymore. It's like you have activated something, and God says, oh yeah, angels, move in and assist this lady, talk to that person, touch this person. That's for people who are people of faith. That's how we look at things through the biblical perspective. I mean, other people would call it luck, they would call it fate, whatever. But I can see very clearly that external influences are kind of like waiting to act when you move. That's what I'm getting from your
Oh
story
yeah,
today.
oh yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. But there are also, that's why when you do your work, okay, do it excellently. I think that also the God factor major. But one of the reasons Miss Aldo Obe would have been naturally drawn to me was the amazing service I gave her anytime she came to the store. It was,
Anytime she came.
and
Oh,
it
I
got to a
see.
point, she was my very good customer. And it got to a point, I said, my store was small. And she would come, her husband was the, he was the PDP chairman at the time. But she would probably
PDP
come to the
chairman.
store, yes, change with the other women. But it got to a point, I said, Auntie, from now, when you come to the store, you will pick all the things you like and you will not try them on here. You will take them home. Go and try them. Don't pay me. When you pick what you want, anything you like, you pick. I will give you the bill. The ones you don't like, you send back home. That was amazing. Those are the kind of, so if it's 10 things, 20, whatever she wants to pick, she's going with them. Go and try them in the privacy of your home, feel happy. And I even had other people like that I attended to, that I took the things home for them. People like Pastor Sarah,
For
I
them.
would take the things home for her. You can't don't come to my small shop and try things with every other person. No, I'll take the things home myself, and I'll take a tailor along, so that if we needed to make small adjustments here and there, we'll do it for you and we'll bring it back. So I'll go and we'll try the thing on, and it will even be a fun time. I tend to use zip it up, check it, this works, this doesn't work, this needs to be slightly adjusted. We'll do all of that. Excellent service. Nigerians are not used to excellent service. We just it's just and
Thank you.
for me
Thank you.
it was
Thank you
beyond
so much for
it was
sharing
more
this.
than money. I really
You
did
went
enjoy
out
what
of
I
your
did.
way. You actually went out
Absolutely.
of your way to make their
Absolutely.
experience.
Yeah. And that was
Unforgettable.
why I also
Mm.
intentionally called names, because these are people that are around, that the stories are verifiable.
Yes, we
You
can
understand?
verify the
So
stories. Yes, I verify.
yes,
Yeah.
so if people don't just are not just drawn to you just because you have one popcorn popping somewhere. No, you've put in something. You've put in a level of excellence, a level of care, interest in what you're doing. So people are drawn to you. So that that formed a major part of why she would have been like, you know what, hit the next level. They've seen your goods. This has happened. Start going to China, and this was the beginning of production. This was the beginning of having a production line, you know, that had my own name on it and all of that. Story for another day, you know. And this was the
Mm.
beginning of a reinvent. My reinvention was within the same industry, but I took it a notch higher because at the time we started, it was just
Exactly. It's
buy
still
from
reinvention. It's
UK.
still reinvention.
But
You
yeah,
kept
so
evolving because there are people who
yes.
started with you. There's a lady's shop I know, I used to know when I first came to Abuja, where I started buying my suits from. I didn't somehow know about you at that time because my circle was very, very, very small. And years later, I mean, I've been married now how long? I go there, she's still there, still same old. So when we're talking about reinvention, yes, when we're
Mhm.
talking about reinvention, you can completely transit from one career line to another. It can be extreme and it can also be within the industry. You continue to evolve and evolve until you become the leader of that industry. So
Absolutely.
reinvention is reinvention.
Yeah. And
Yes,
I
reinvention is
think that
reinvention. You keep
most people think that in reinventing yourself, you are exiting one industry to, I think that is more a more popular way of people thinking of reinvention. But I think that for the most and at times you stay. So
mm,
this industry we're talking about now, I think this is 22 or 23 years for me. That's a pretty long time. And there are times you think, oh, I should just do something else. And I have done a bit of this and that, but this is it. And it was just until in the last 2 years I looked at everything I'd done. I looked at my age. I looked at the time I'd spent and what I feel I have left in active service. And I'm like, you know what? This is it. This is it. This is the main thing I'm going to do. This is the main thing I'm going to do. I'm not going to change career at almost 50. No, I ain't doing that. So, you know, I think that many people would even do better if you reinvent within the same industry. That is, there's
within
so
the
much, there's
industry.
so much more to
Okay.
do that you don't realize.
I
You
think
know,
this is such a key point now that you are raising because
yeah,
unlike me who is straddling between two types of two types of careers, and I've been trying to, I don't know how many people watching would be feeling this way about me. I've been trying to determine which of them do I want to become known for. You've said a very important thing. Now you said even within an industry, there are so many value, I don't know, outlets
so many
that you can
layers.
reinvent yourself. I mean, yeah, so many layers. You have been in the active industry for a long. Hey, I want to use someone like Tara Dorotoye. I mean, there was a time when she was the one doing the makeup, actual active makeup and bridal makeup, painting people's faces and whatever. And then she went up and went up. Before you know it, she's now an industry expert. She's now coming up with the solutions, investigating what is healthy, what is not, what is good for skin texture, defining what the Black woman needs as makeup. So what you have said is very key, and I'm going to walk away with that. You can reinvent yourself and get stronger. It doesn't necessarily have to be across careers. Across
Yeah,
careers.
yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
And
Yes,
to
go
buttress your
on.
point, let me say something. So when we were actively buying from the UK, it's so funny that when I started buying suits. When you go to a lot of the companies in the UK, then people that are into the clothing industry, they know we were all buying from Prince Park, Gure, Office Girl. All these were all the popular names. When you go to their stores, you see orange suits, you see yellow, you see some strange colors, and then I began, and then
Fuchsia.
you see hair fish. mad colors.
Baby
And then
pink.
you see the black, blues, and coffee, they will not have so much of it left. Then the orange will be all over the place, being a nuisance. And then I began to tell these guys, I'm like, guys, wait, who did you people do this orange suit for? Because I can see that most of your customers are Nigerians. Is it Nigerian people that you people do this thing for? Then I began to teach them that, see, this is what First Bank takes, UBA, Standard Trust, all of those. I was the one that began to tell them that, guys, stop making this horrible orange. This is because bankers were the people buying suits at that time. So going forward, they began to call me before they make orders. They will say, they will call me and have
Wow.
a meeting with me.
You have indeed
My
become
mom
a
will be, and
true
they'll be
thought
like,
leader
what should we
now.
do? What should we not do? And I'll be like, do this, do this, do this. And they would, if they do most of the things, it will work. Because they also admitted that, okay, at that time, their number one customers were from Malta, and then the number two was Nigerians. And I think we got to that point where Nigeria said we passed Malta at some point in buying, because it became, we were buying so much. And around that was the Obasanjo era where there was so much money in the system. People had a lot of disposable income, so there was a lot of buying, and a lot of the coppers then were working in banks. There was employment. So size 8, 10 was the hot thing in those days. There was, because young people straight out of school
Young coppers,
they were
like,
getting fantastic jobs. You understand? So their sizes were hot because they were buying a lot, because they didn't have suits. All they had was jeans coming out of school. So they needed a lot of clothes, work clothes, and all of that. So so now I'm advising you, do this color, do this kind of styles. Don't make your skirts too short. We don't do too short in Africa. If you're going to do size 18, don't do this for them. Nigerians have tummy, Nigerians have bum. Fix this. These were all the things I did for them for so long. So by the time I entered China, I could do it for myself. And then I could do it for them. So there are so many layers. Because we're talking of a 10-year or more difference, where by this time industries have closed up. All the factories, the small factories in around Commercial Road, and other places in London, they had all closed down, and the few people remaining began to produce in China. Some were producing in Romania and Turkey, but Turkey was expensive for Nigerians to buy, and all of that. So China was the window. Okay, so even they now needed people that would help them produce from China, which they were
of
not ready to
course.
go to and come and sell to them. And if you are there, that opportunity has opened. You
Okay.
step into that opportunity. But
So
if you don't understand that there are
you
layers,
you
you
came and
position.
said, I'm now the landlady here. I will tell you what we
Exactly.
like and what we don't like.
So you
Don't sew this
so you
cloth and people can't wear it. Yeah.
exactly. And they had to listen, because our people, and that was today, there is tough. It's tough for them, because with these pounds and all that, who can really buy like that from the UK the way we used to buy? Me alone, if I enter their store in those
Yes,
days,
yes.
if I enter 2,000 suits to follow me out. I'm talking of more than 10 years, 15 years ago. Yeah. If I landed, in those days, they would pick you at the airport, or no, not pick, usually drop you. Oh my gosh. The pampering was on another level, because you will bring the store down. In fact, then, if I enter the store before you, you can't get anything to buy. You understand? But now, see the pound, see the naira.
This
That
is
is not happening. So
interesting.
you reinvent. There has to. So when people come and they like criticize China, they say, China good. I just laugh. The one you went to buy at Harrods is still from China. The one went to buy at Selfridges
It's
is
still
just
from
China.
China.
Get grade. You get grade. You get level. Meanwhile, if I bring the Selfridges level to you in Nigeria with your small naira that doesn't make too much sense, you can't buy it. So respect your situation.
You can't buy it.
Respect your
You can't
Nigerian
buy it.
naira situation and stay somewhere. Instead of
Hmm.
looking down on China, looking down on a place you don't understand, on a concept,
Mm.
it exposes
How can
ignorance. So
anyone, it's very funny to me. It's very funny to me when someone that is manufacturing something is doing something, no matter how poorly, and you who is not doing anything has the effrontery to criticize. Do
And
you
you've
not
not been to
see
the
how this person
country.
will get better because practice makes perfect? Do you not see
Exactly.
when Kia Motors first came out? I was doing my youth service when Kia became popular, and people used to laugh
Mm-hmm.
at the car Picanto. At
Yeah.
that time, my boss bought a Picanto, and that was during NYS. I used to drive my little cute brand new Picanto around this Abuja, and people used to laugh at me, and I used to wonder what's funny. I don't understand.
Today.
Somebody made a car that is moving and is doing
Mm-hmm.
something, and you are laughing. Have you produced anything before? I said, give these people 5, 10 years. You cannot compete with them. And that's
Exactly.
the situation today. That's the
Exactly.
situation today. Kia at some point, he said, was the highest selling car at one time, Abi.
They are blown. They are
Hmm.
blown down. See, when I entered my very first my
Okay,
very
so
first trip to China.
okay, go on.
Let me quickly tell you this. My very first trip to China. Incidentally, I didn't go to. In fact, it was more of a fact-finding mission, and I had a soft landing by Mrs. Ogwe introducing me to the ambassador, and I stayed with the ambassadors for about 2, 3 weeks. And at some point, the Agbero in me had to. They were in Beijing, but I had to go to Guangzhou, which was the hotspot. That was like Lagos, Abuja. So I had to go and see what was going on. Anyway, that very first trip, the first thing I produced was hair. It was weave on. It wasn't time. It wasn't wig time then. Attachment. Okay. So when I went to the factory, they brought the different types. They said, which quality do you want? So they brought European, they brought American, and they brought African. This is the price for this is the price. Which one do you want? The only one I saw that would make sense is the one for the African market that you'll be able to bring to Nigeria and you'll be able to sell and it will make sense. So when people come and they say all of these horrible things about China, it's very annoying because those guys have helped us. Let's admit it. Okay. If I
Let's admit
produced
it,
for the
Ba.
the,
No, we
the, the
don't know. We
European
don't know
market
because we
quality,
are not trained. We are not
absolutely.
trained to see
I should forgive
opportunity.
them.
I think that when
I,
people are yes, pity them, they do not know what they are doing. Then we are
mm,
not trained to see opportunity.
yes, yes,
Something about reinvention is that it gets you ready for opportunity. Your eyes are open to see what
yeah,
previously
yeah,
you could not see. Let me give you a very brief
yes,
story, and then I'm going to ask you to give us your those salient points, things that we should know
yeah,
in order to start
yes.
repositioning, because you are my teacher and I am writing notes. I've had this tiny office where I've used this office as a showroom, and then when I discovered my love for teaching, I went to World Bank. They were auctioning off old furniture. So I bought furniture from the auctions and came and changed the use of that my office to a training room. It now became
Okay.
a mini training room that I could rent out to people and then also train people at. So time I've had it for a very time. And then when I began to see that my personal development and coaching career was taking off, I needed a new place to meet with people. I want to have live trainings as opposed to just virtual trainings. And so we decided that we wanted to relocate to a new place. So I kept searching
Mm,
and searching, and we couldn't find a new place because we couldn't afford the places that we liked. We saw other places, but they didn't fit the standard I had in my mind because I had begun to evolve. I was no longer just looking for something to get by. I was thinking now that I want to make impact. So I had all this while. So the last 2 years, I had gone through a lot of health challenges. And towards the end of last year, when I began to recover, I wanted to recover with a bang. I tried
mm,
to look for opportunity everywhere. I just couldn't find where I could afford. I tried many things to do, but it didn't work out. So after going around and seeing that the places that I thought were befitting were way above my budget, I went back
mm.
to the old office that I had refused to look at for the last how many months. And all of a sudden, it started looking beautiful all over again. I started thinking, okay, it's not that bad. I can change here. I can alter this. I'm going to. So we ended up rearranging the space. We ended up shifting
Okay.
things around. And the opportunities that I did not see in that
Mm,
space, I began to find. So I'm just
mm.
sharing that. I'm just sharing that
Yeah.
story because it's as though the moment you made up your mind that this is where I'm planted, your eyes begin to see what other people do not see. And so that's why when you go to China, when you are, I mean, that's why you even attract the people that would help you. You
Yeah.
attract the opportunities to you. We are
Yeah.
talking, so if you're just, okay, I'm assuming that everybody that watches this has been watching from the beginning. We are talking about reinvention for wealth and opportunity. Miss Lara here has taken time to break down for us how she started, how Providence helped her, and how circumstances as a result of naivety and perhaps some level of ignorance and choices caused her to lose everything. And yet, even after she lost everything, it took her time to bounce back, but she bounced back. And when she started bouncing back, she started attracting the kind of help that she required. She said something very key, which I'm going to repeat. She said that you must, I wrote it down, you must give excellent service, you must give care, and show interest to attract people to you. I don't think that many people who are looking for change are actually thinking about giving giving as part of their strategy. They're usually thinking of who will help me, I need, I want. They don't see it as giving something, positioning yourself by giving your way into success and wealth. They don't see
Yeah.
themselves that way. They see themselves as needing help. So I really, if you're watching this, I'm taking that away. I have jotted it down, and I'm going to try and apply that to my life. So Lara, you were talking about how you went to China and how you were able to
Yeah.
see opportunities that other people couldn't see. Yes.
Oh, yeah. So this is a very important piece of the information. So I started off, like you said, with Providence. Luck. There was an element of luck, and this was hot luck. It was as in it was hot. That's how I entered. Okay, but it doesn't stay that
There's
way.
what is called the beginner's luck. Yes. There's what is
You
called the
know, that,
beginner's luck. If you read the book
this my own
Outliers,
was
if you read the book
okay.
Outliers, if you haven't
I
read it,
haven't read.
please look for the book Outliers by
Yes, um,
you've read
Thomas
it.
Gladwell,
Everybody encounters
uh,
that luck, but you don't. Some
Malcolm
people don't
Gladwell.
record.
Yeah,
Yes, Glad
yeah,
um,
Gladwell, Malcolm Gladwell. You know,
Malcolm Glad.
and,
Yes,
and he
Malcolm.
also talked
Yes,
about
Gladwell.
having a tipping
Yes.
point,
So
okay, where you do, you know, and that point when you gain traction, you get a tipping point and all of that. But so I said that this is my point I'm trying to make. Though it started with a bit of luck and it was hot, okay, it didn't continue that way. It got to a point where I had to learn the work, okay? I had to learn the
of
craft well.
course.
I had to become the best version of myself. And when the challenges came, okay, I had to be a different kind of person to be able to face the challenges, overcome the challenges, and stay in it because everybody said, no, don't do this. This is not the way to go. But I believed in myself. I was the loudest voice in my head, and I was a big cheerleader to myself. I was my biggest motivational speaker. So I felt I would stay in it. And that made me who I became, okay, began to attract the best breed of people I could find. And that was how, you see, because what you become will determine where you go, what you do, how you think. And it was based on this new person I became that I attracted who now became my husband. Okay? Because when he came into town and he was just looking for old friends from school to hook up with and just check on and, I was one of the first people he hooked up with. And this was God just showcasing me and just saying, see this new human being,
Better,
and just starting.
better somebody.
What's correct, babe? It's something in her brain. I was tried and tested. I was a tried and tested commodity. I'd moved from luck to tried and tested in the hot sun and in the hot fire, and I came out positive. So when he came,
Yes,
you know,
refined as
this was, and you know what? There's no way I could have met any other kind of person because I wasn't going to where these other people were. You can't find me there. And then even if mistakenly I meet you and we're not on the same wavelength, we'll just greet and you go. But now I began to meet the quality of friends, it was quality. So this Oga that came was a quality guy.
Hmm.
And God brought somebody that could also help me push that, would push me to the next level. So at times when people say the God factor is important, is number one, is massive, but God will bring angels, quality angels your way that will push you to the next level. You understand? And this was what he was, because he encouraged me, he was not the type that, even when we were friends, incidentally, when we were friends, because he was liquid, so he would borrow me money. But I would always return on the day I said. I would return on the day I said.
Hmm.
And I
So
remember one
you had
incident.
integrity as well. You had
You understand?
integrity.
I remember one day he borrowed me 500,000. And then I had this friend that was squatting with me in the house. And she said, and then I had a disagreement with him, something minor. And she was like, don't even give me back the money. And I'm like, what? No. Oh, I paid him back. I always paid back on the day I said. And if I cannot pay back 24 hours, I've seen that it's not going to be possible. I call you and let you know this thing is not going to be possible in 24 hours, but it will happen in 72 hours. And we had that kind of relationship from the get go. So when the big cash came, yeah, Havan, he's the person that you have integrity you look at.
Hmm.
So we had this good
Hmm.
friendship, and it didn't start off as a relationship. We
Hmm.
were just friends, and then we grew into this. We reluctantly
The
entered,
best kind of marriages never start out.
exactly.
The
And
best
I think
kind
that till
never start
today
out
we're
as
still friends,
relationships.
and we can still talk about crazy things because
Yes.
that friendship. And even till today, I said,
Awesome.
don't
Awesome.
tell me, that till today, there's some kind of BS he can't tell me, because Oga, I know you. You remember I know you. I have your full gist given to me by you. You have my
I
own, so no
know.
BS here.
I know.
No BS. Now,
No,
we
not
didn't
at
enter as
all.
relationship, we
Oh,
entered as friends, so
as
I said
friends.
that to say
So
that when you become a quality person, you will attract quality people. So
mm,
stop wasting a lot of energy looking for who to help you. No, become a quality person and you will attract quality helpers like a magnet. You will attract money. You will attract people that they are like, hey, this is your business. Oh, yeah, how much do you need? You'll pour in the cash because you become a quality person, not because you were crying that someone should come and help you. So I thought that was an important piece of information. And over the years, you know,
very.
Ogas, he has been very, 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 very helpful, because there are times people have amazing ideas, but if you don't have money to push that idea to the next level, you are not going anywhere.
Yes.
But then I didn't need that money to start. But I got to a stage that yes, it was now necessary. I could now enter China and do some kind of crazy production because I had a good backup system. So
You had a good
this
backup.
is this is the
Wow.
list I yeah. This is the quick list I made for you. I said find a craft or venture you are passionate about. But I've said that at times do anything available.
Okay.
When you get results, it will turn to passion. Don't be waiting for, you understand. There are times do and
Okay.
check
So
out
tell me.
check out
Okay, so let
what
me
is
ask
your
a
lowest
question here
hanging
now.
fruit.
Let me ask you a question now.
Okay.
Okay, so I would say that my lowest, I don't know, but I have had to talk to a couple of people who are talented in different areas. And then but then just like you said, they are trying to do other things, but their low hanging fruits are, for instance, some of them know how to market, some of them are creative, some of them just have things that they can engage immediately. But we have been somehow trained that the hard one outside that you are not really wired for is the one you want. So would you refer to low hanging fruits as part of your gifts, things that you already have that you can do? For instance, look at me. I've always known how to teach, always known how to break things down to people, always known how to list, give step by step ways out of issues, out of challenges, out of anything to do with evolving into becoming a different person with discipline and diligence. I've always known it. But for the longest of time, I was just interested in other skill sets that it took me a long time to deploy, and they were just simply not low hanging fruit for me. So one day I was driving around Beggar and I heard, "What do you have in your hand?" almost as if somebody said it to me. So I said, I can teach, but what am I going to do with teaching? I don't know anybody that I can call and teach. I'm not a teacher in a school. And what I want to teach is not sciences or medicine. What I know how to teach is to build up. And it's like, what do you have in your hands? Use it. So for the longest of time, I struggled with it. But as you are saying this today now, you are saying, you said something. You said your low hanging fruit. So I'm starting to think that that was a low hanging fruit. Just that ability to do something, isn't it? You consider that your low
Yes.
hanging fruit, or must it be a craft, a trade, something to exchange in terms of products, for instance?
Yeah, so for there's no cookie cutter answer to this. Is and what I tell people is, one of the wrongest questions people ask me and many other people I know, you say, "What do you think I should do?" I don't know. I don't know what you should do, because I'm not you. I don't know the full story. But one thing I do know is that the answer is within. And this is the hardest work, okay? To find the answer. But again, this is why I said, okay, at the time I wanted to do clothes, there were two other options. One, pure water was booming that time. I thought, okay, let me carry these 1,000 pounds I have, which was about 250,000 naira, plus some other small change, and go back to Nigeria. I didn't need up to that to start pure water then. Then there was another thing, I've forgotten what the third option. These were the three options I was working with. But I'm already in London. I have a free ticket, a return ticket to Nigeria. I'm a babe, I wear clothes. I have friends, we wear clothes. We were just entering into that work clothes zone. So my lowest hanging fruit was to carry my two legs to Finsbury Park with my fashion mentor mom, go and buy the clothes, put it in the three suitcases, bring it to Nigeria and be selling that one first. If it's that good like that and you get the proceeds from that, maybe you can start this pure water or any other thing you want to do. So that thing you can start easily. For some people, it is enter Wuse Market, go and buy something, carry it to another location, package it amazingly, market it, learn to massage people's ego. Okay, learn to make people, you understand, especially when you're starting
Ah,
off and you want to gain that
that's another
attention.
point. So please, you have to expand it. You have to expand that point. Please, you
you know
have to expand that point.
you have to learn to
Please,
be,
I'm taking
you have to
notes.
let people, you understand, because you'll be shocked how many products are in line in Wuse Market that nobody knows about because somebody has not taken it to Asokoro to go and slight repackaging, fantastic marketing, massage. See what I was doing for Miss Aldogbe, I was massaging ego. I was massaging because I was like, I just told, I said, Auntie, you can't be trying clothes in this shop. It's not good. Take them home. This is how you have to treat him. Give honor to whom honor is due. Make people feel important. Make people feel good. You understand? And you will see the results. But most people feel like, why should this is why you go to a lot of shops you go to in Nigeria. You will enter. One sales girl, crazy, they will just first size you up. They don't talk to you. They don't treat you well. They don't do, if you come to, and this is a major training for staff, our staff. We're more than about selling clothes. We're about giving people a fantastic shopping experience, making them feel good when they come, making them feel happy. And that's why we were one of the people that made this, that people will come. You can
Okay, so
you can try on, yeah, okay. You can
we
try
had a
on
brief.
as many clothes as you want. We make you feel happy and all of that. So, you know, um, in putting this issue of finding your passion in context, at times, if you cannot think of what you're passionate about, whatever you find, even the Bible says that whatever your hand finds to do, but do it with all diligence. So don't look for one thing. Enter Wuse Market, enter
Pause.
somewhere, do something small. In the middle of that journey, it will get big. You will discover what you're passionate about. And even where you're just an employee, you work somewhere, okay, do that, do it amazingly well. I've had workers that today they left me, they become entrepreneurs because when they were with me, they did the work amazingly well. And within that system,
Hello,
they found what they were passionate about.
hello.
I'm with you. I can hear you.
Okay, so we are, I don't know. I'm experiencing some sort of lag.
Okay.
And can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Can you hear
I
me?
can hear you. Yes.
Well,
Yes. Yes.
your voice, your
I can hear you
voice
very well. I can hear you. I
is
can hear you.
very sluggish.
Okay. I don't know. I'm hearing myself well and I can hear you well. I can I can hear you. I can hear you.
Hello?
I can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you. Yes.
I can't hear
Okay, you
you.
can.
Can you
Okay.
hear Lara? Is she clear? Is she clear? Someone is commenting. Is she clear?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Okay, so if you can hear me, this is what is going on at my end. Your
Okay.
voice sounds like a man who is drunk. Your voice is sluggish and so deep and so slow that I can't make out your sentences.
Oh my.
Bodo, bodo,
Oh,
bodo.
okay.
That's what's going on here.
Oh my gosh.
So please,
Maybe.
can Chimane, is there something we can do to fix this? Because this chat is coming to the climax. I don't want to miss it.
Yes.
I see. I've been
Yeah.
taking notes. Just when the
Uh,
thing is getting hot, then
hmm?
this thing.
No, no.
So what do we do? Should we log out and should I log out and log in? Should I log out and log in?
Hmm?
We have to edit all this part out to her. Should I log out and log in? Please
No
say something to
problem.
me. Somebody's
Can you
comment.
hear me now?
Uh,
Any better? Any better? Is it better?
okay.
Can you hear me? Oh. Can you hear me? Any better?
I can't hear it.
Oh.
I can hear you, but it sounds like another person is talking. Okay, let me leave and come back. Just give
Okay.
me.
Yeah. 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 I thought you wanted to help. Hmm?
They said something in the chat. Yes, ma'am.
I can see you.
Oh, he's lying. Oh, God.
Oh, oh, you didn't know. Come with your. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But they'll still edit it out. Mommy, are we going to church tomorrow?
Mm-hmm. She said. You sleep for a long time.
Mm.
Cute. So cute
Yeah,
and
why?
very
I think
so cute. So cute. See baby. See baby.
like
Gosh.
what kind of zoo is this? What kind of zoo is this? I think it's big.
Mm-hmm. Have you done your
I always do zoo around kind of.
Back.
Use these headphones. They're very good.
don't. Okay, good. Good. Mm. Rewan, I'll call you back. I'll call you back. I'm busy. I'll call you back. I'll call you back. Mm.
What's a video?
Hey, I see you now. I see you.
Sorry,
Oh,
sorry. I
you're
don't know what
done.
happened to our internet. So everything started acting up.
Can you hear me?
Sorry, sorry. Very well. Very well. I can
Oh,
hear you
good.
clearly now. Okay. So let's
Okay.
continue before this internet acts up again. Sorry, please.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You were
So
saying
let me
you
run
stopped
through
at you.
my list. Yes. Let me run
Yes.
through the list. Then we can now take it one after at least so you can use the list. So I said find a
Okay.
craft or venture you are passionate about, but within that I said find your lowest hanging
Low
fruit
hanging
and
fruit.
start with that, and then you build up from there. That's number one. Number two, I said mind that craft consistently for a long time. Nurture it like you would a baby. You know, if there's anybody that knows about nurturing a baby, you know what it takes. The day, I know our co-pilots, you know what co-pilots has done to you in the last few months. They, this is how, can you hear me? Can you, can you hear me? Internet. Oh, boy. Yeah, yeah. My own internet, is it working? Can you check for me? It's in the room. I think it's on the chair. Yeah, yeah. Oh, this is everything. Hmm?
Okay. So can you leave it there?
Okay. We're back. We're back.
Oh, this is so pretty.
Can you hear me?
Yes, very well.
Okay, good. Let me run through it. So I said, mind the craft or the venture consistently
That
for a long
craft
time.
consistently over
Yes, no,
a long time. Yeah.
mind it consistently for a long time. Nurture it like you would a baby, which some of us know what that means. All day, it's a full time thing, and this is why at times, I remember in the early days when I was the everything in the business. I was the accountant, the cleaner, the sales girl, the buyer. You know, you if you were doing that business as a side business, you couldn't compete with me. It was impossible because this was what I did all. I had no closing time in those days. I didn't have kids yet. And I remember those days when bankers would call me, they would like, I'm coming, please wait for me. These are around maybe 7, 8. They're calling me. I'm like, there's no problem. They'll say, what time do you close? I'll say, just because I didn't have closing time. I was always ready. So that is minding it consistently. And when you do that successfully, it would gain traction. Even when you are doing something negative, you do it excellently. Okay, all of some of these kidnappings and banditry we're hearing about now, it didn't just start. It's been on, but it has gained traction. That's why we're hearing about it. They've done it well, consistently over time. So even when you do something negative, it will gain traction. So you can now imagine if you do something
It's
positive
always gains
consistently,
traction.
excellently well over time, it will gain traction. That traction is what is called a brand. Nobody ever set out to be a brand. Oprah didn't set out to be a brand. She just gained
Mm.
traction. And when you gain traction, that traction is what is called a brand. So there's no luck to it. There's no magic to it. It's just painful, consistent.
Thank you so much for
But
that.
why
That
why
traction is brand.
and this is why people advocate that you find something you like. So it's easy to be consistent. It's easy to do it even when you're tired. It's easy to do it free. It's easy to go back to it when there's a challenge. Like my own story where the thing finished. I've had to start all over again,
From scratch.
literally from scratch, like two major times in my life. So that was because I liked it and I knew that I could I knew I had results before. I know I would get it again. So this is what is brand. Traction is brand. So take advantage of the leverage your traction brings to perfect your mission. Take advantage of the leverage your traction brings to perfect your mission when you get to that level, which is where some just stop. They gain traction, that's it, they're done. They're succeeding, there's money in the bank, but I don't know. For people like me, I wanted more. I wanted more than
Mm.
money, than just money in the bank. It was interesting, and so success is dangerous at this level. Be careful. Success is dangerous because there's no time you don't learn, like when you're successful. That's when you don't learn. That's when you don't listen. That's when you don't do nothing. You're just coasting home. There's a lot of money in the bank, and yeah, you become a little bit crazy. And this is where also people become, they feel invincible. They feel they can do anything and get away with it. And that law doesn't exist. You don't get away with not. You don't. So success is the time. Most companies didn't go down. If you are a student of How the Mighty Fall, what's the name of that author? From Good to Great. I love him so much. I have his books all over this
Who?
house.
Who?
Uh, Good to Great. What's his name?
Who?
Lashe, can you get that book for
Oh, I
me?
have it here.
It
Jim.
is
Jim. Jim.
Jim Collins.
I have
Jim
it somewhere
Collins,
in my
right?
library here. Jim
Yeah.
Collins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give
Yeah,
me
it's
Good
somewhere
to Great.
here.
Give me a copy. Give me a copy. Good to
Or
Great.
maybe it's on the other
That
side.
read.
There's a copy
Yes, I
of
have
Good to
Good to
Great. Let
Great.
me check
But
for Good
funny
to
enough,
Great here.
one of his best books is one of my favorite of his books. He talked about something similar. Is there's another one. Good to Great. Let me do free marketing for Jim. Jim Collins has been so awesome over the years.
We are both
There's another.
doing it. See mine.
Good to Great. Yeah, he has another
See
new one
mine.
out now. Funny enough, he has one new one out now that I haven't read, that's the only book I don't have. I think that book should be down. But one of my best books from him is How the Mighty Fall. You understand? Where he talks about companies and
Oh,
how
I've seen it.
it's usually,
I have seen
yeah,
it.
it's at
How
the
the
point. See, your
mighty fall.
danger is not when you are struggling to succeed. It's when you hit, you are blown. When you blow, this is the most dangerous time. This is the critical time because you blow and you become mad. You understand? So this is the time to balance it. Some personalities are better at balancing success than some. But if there's anything to be learned,
Yes,
is
yes.
how to
Than some.
behave when you succeed. Yes, So
When you become
so
successful.
when
I think we need a
when you're
whole.
successful,
I think we need a whole lesson, a whole session,
absolutely,
or maybe even a
absolutely. you know, on learning how to behave when you are successful and all of that. Most people know what to do when they are not successful, but when you are successful, it's a dangerous time because again, you believe your own press. People tell you all sorts of things. It's so easy to go crazy. So be careful. This is the time to keep building. The time to don't let all the accolades get to you. You know, no, this is the time to just cool down and all of that. And then never settle. Always be ready for change. Go with the flow. Always be ready for change because that is the only constant. There will be change. Again, that's another way of saying that. And you see, change in most times come with difficulty. When the pandemic came, it came with a lot of difficulty all over the world. That was change. Okay? Some were ready for the change. Zoom was ready. Some other companies were ready. Some were not ready. Okay? And now we're in post-pandemic. Okay? Some are still wondering what happened. Some are still wondering what happened. A lot of businesses went down.
It's
You
true.
know, before then, China was, oh my God, my beloved China. I would go in, out, in, out. Now, we've not gone to China since 2019, and business is strong. Something happened there.
Things
Something
evolve.
happened there. You know, even though we were not as, nobody was prepared for that pandemic. So it was what you were already doing that would keep you. There was no time. There was no time to, it didn't give anybody notice. And so this is why, you always have to be ready as best as you can, but there are times that you can't even be ready. There are times life will throw some things, you can't even be, nobody could have been ready for that pandemic. But for whatever reason, some were already doing the right thing that helped, you understand? But also, we had to change that period. The mode of buying had to change. Production had to change. Everything, you have to do things. And I guess even today that we're having this program, and it's this type of live program, we're not together, but we're making it happen. These were some of the changes that period threw up. And life is never going to really be the same again. So
Anymore. Yeah.
yeah. So this is you have to be ready for change and go with the flow. You understand? Anybody that is trying to make life pre-COVID, you are flowing against the how do they say that thing? It's not going to happen. It has changed. Change is here to stay. So you go with the flow. And that's my final point. Any
Okay.
questions?
Thank you so much. I've been so much, and network was trying to interrupt our sessions. So tell me now, Lara, what internal work? What internal? If somebody came and met you now and said, "Please, I want to apply everything you've taught me. I don't know what my low hanging fruit is, or I know what my low hanging fruit is. I don't know how to." Because a lot of people who are thinking of reinventing, um not sad to say, some of them will reinvent in one industry, others will cross carpet somewhere else and start all over and reestablish themselves. um what kind of mindsets do I'd like, what I'm asking for is like the internal work that we need to do, Now you have listed some things that is a doing. Now I'm trying to get to what to be like. How does that kind of person be in their minds? How do you
Okay.
become the kind of person that is willing to see through the challenges and identify crafts, be willing to nurture it for a long, you actually stress the long time, meaning that if you are someone that is impatient and you want to blow quick, it's not for you. You are not in, this is not your WhatsApp group, you know. So how should someone like that, how should you be in your mind? How should
Good.
you be before?
The
Because
first thing is
no matter
this.
how much we act,
Okay. Okay, the first thing is this. You see, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
yes, that's true.
That's the first thing. Okay. So most people think they're ready. Most people say they're ready, but they're not. Okay. So many times, what I look at is, okay, you say you want to achieve this, but there's nothing that you're doing that is an indication to me that what you said is true. Okay. So you can't say I want to lose weight and then you're not eating right, you're not exercising, you're not doing anything. You're joking. You are joking. You just said words. So when the student is really ready, painfully ready in their heart, I tell you, without any exception,
The teacher
this teacher
appears.
will appear. When the thing pain you to that
Mm.
point where you want the answers and you want it now, the teacher will appear. When Jacob wanted an answer, he said, hey, this was like, I mean, he was talking to God and he was like, even you, God, you created you are the organ of the whole setup, but even you can't go. I need answers. So when you get to that, at times it's an angry point. At times it's a painful point. When you get to that point,
Okay,
the
like
answer will
fed
come
up. You are fed up with the
with where
current
you are,
situation, when
with,
you are
with your
tired
current
and
setup.
desperate.
Yes,
So you have to be
yes,
like, you have to actually be tired. That is just willing to. I don't want this anymore. I'm really fed
more.
up with where I currently am.
Yes,
I
yes. I
see.
want to do something
Okay.
different. The teacher will appear. And many times, the first teacher that will appear is something that Oprah would usually say that works for me. She said, life whispers. Life comes in whispers. Whispers. Stop looking for the shaking. Many times it's just the still small voice. And most people are just not settled down enough to just hear the whispers, the still small voice, not the gengen thing or the shaking or the earthquake or the thunder. No, many times it's not even in all of those things. The answer is within. So at times, in being angry enough to find these answers is about just settling down. And this is where amazing books like yours come in. We're in the middle of the year, go for a retreat. The one you did before, you were playing. Now you're angry enough, go for the retreat. Go with OC's book. You will get the answers. You will get the answer. You know. So this, I think, it's an inside job. You know. I don't know if you can still hear me. Oh, okay. I think you're stuck. You're frozen. I'm streaming. Let's stream the video.
Which was my income to problem.
She has her students.
I know she don't edit that passport.
There's a lot to it. Okay. I can't hear you. Mm-mm. Can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Take his phone away from here. That's why. Go. Oh yeah, go. I can see you.
Okay, we're back. We're
Yes,
back.
yes, yes. Okay.
This
Sorry,
problem is
please.
a business
Who
opportunity. This is a business opportunity. Someone can do something to solve this problem. I don't trust me, not me, but someone out there can solve this
with
thing.
this from, right? Where I'm broadcasting from. The issue is not that we don't have internet. The issue is that there are only very few internet services that can work here successfully. Otherwise, I normally have multiple. So that if one acts up one, but then
It's just
it's
switch.
I don't.
That's the
Yes,
Nigerian story now. Everybody has
yes.
2, 3, at least 2, 3. This one you switch, you know.
The thing is, the problem with
Someone should
this
come
one
with an
is that
amazing one that nobody is switching from. It's business.
honestly, that's what we need to do. Anyway, please let's continue so that this thing will not interrupt us again. Let's finish quick. So you were
Yeah, yeah.
saying that
So
first of all, you need to be thoroughly fed up with where you currently are, desperate and in need of change. So if you don't, and nobody can get to that point for you. You have to be
nobody.
the one. It's an internal something. If you like talk about it from now to tomorrow, if you like pretend, when you are ready, in fact, the day you see your teacher, you know that you have reached that tipping point. Abi?
Let me give you another, yes. Let me give you a very current, relevant example. When you go online and you see the Osinachi story, everybody will be like, why didn't she just leave? The people that are coming out to say they knew about the abuse now, why are they just talking now? Why didn't they help her? No. Nobody can help you. Nobody can help you leave your
Nobody.
marriage. Nobody can help you leave an abusive marriage. You take the decision yourself and you walk away. When you
Until
are
you
walking,
make that
people will
decision
join you and
yourself.
help. You have to go yourself. People that are saying that it's just is naive, they are naive, and it shows a high level of ignorance in this thing, which
Ignorance.
there are social media advisors all over the
Yes.
place. It's a bit frustrating reading some of these comments. Nobody can. What are they supposed to come into your house and arrest you? When did that situation become an arrestable situation? No. So you
Yes,
have to get to
it's
that point
true.
yourself. Nobody loves you like you. So if you are not, if you don't love yourself enough to walk away from a bad
Enough.
situation, or get to that point where you feel that you are worthy of it, of something better than where you are, nobody can help you. Even God cannot help
Mm,
you. I dare say,
mm.
even God
You
Almighty
know what?
cannot.
I totally agree with you.
If God could help,
I
He would
know
have
when
helped
change
this lady.
started happening in my life. I know when change started happening in my life when I got angry, like you said, and fed up, and then I stopped asking people for permission. I just sat down and I said, I've been asking for years. How should I? What should I? Who should I? No way. I'm just going to do what I need to do. And the
Do
moment
you?
that happened, yes, the moment that you hit the nail on the head. There's a kind of decision no one can take for you. No
Even
one can
God,
take for you.
even God
Hmm.
cannot help you.
Exactly. Even God, he won't cross
Even
those boundaries
Almighty
that he
God
sets.
cannot help you. If God could help you,
Cannot.
He would have
I
helped
agree.
this lady.
I
But if she
agree.
didn't take the first step of thinking she was worthy of something better than what she found herself, God couldn't do
No
anything.
self.
She just had to
Yes.
be recalled.
Self
God couldn't do anything.
preservation.
Yeah, yeah.
Self. Oh my God. You are so right. Self preservation is a human right. You
Yeah.
first own the right, you have the right to first preserve your life. It is a human right. So it's nothing anyone can give you, and it's nothing anyone can take from you. And like you said, when the container is not performing, it has to be recalled back to the factory. Unfortunately, this kind of life we live in, the recall is once. Once you have gone home, you can't come back again. They have to release a new person. Hopefully, this will teach a lot of people a lot of valid lessons. Are there any other tips as we
Yeah.
begin to
Yeah.
round up that we should be in order to be able to perform these things that you have shown us? You said, have a craft, be aware of your low hanging fruits. what you can start early, what is within your grasp. Learn to mind that craft consistently, to gain traction. Success is dangerous, don't settle. When we know all these things, there's a kind of person we should be. You have said the first thing is to be desperate and angry for change. Nobody can get to that
Yeah.
desperation for you. Number two.
Yeah. You see, read amazing books. Me and you now, we've talked about Jim Collins. We've talked about OC's book. So Lasha, bring OC's book for me by my bedside. That book is by my bedside. Around the same place where I keep my Bible.
Oh.
Chris Paul's book. So read amazing books. This is where, in the era where nobody is reading anything, they're all on social media. I'm not judging people because I don't know what I would have
Yes, it's
done,
true.
if I
If
was
I didn't
here.
get help.
But
Yes.
read. Read, very important. Read amazing
It's still
books.
surreal. I still find it
Go
surreal.
out of your way to meet amazing people, hear their story, know what makes them tick the way they do, and when you meet, I've met people that, I've had the opportunity. So you meet this person, they've done amazing things. Instead of you to let them, you go there and then you go and start feeling important. You go and start talking about the little things, that was not what that was all about. So those are ways
Okay.
to make
So
yourself a
remain a
quality
student.
person.
Remain a
Remain a student.
student. Don't go and be
Remain a
forming,
student.
I'm intelligent, I know what's
Don't
up.
be forming. And this, in my journey to China, which has been one of the most amazing
Life transforming journeys for you.
PhD programs in my life, my China, but my teachers, two of my most important teachers in China, they didn't even, they have no university degree, they have no real, academic anything. Oh, I think you're frozen again. uh oh. Frozen and tired, OC.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, I said the thing froze at the point you were trying to yawn. You're tired. So
Was I yawning?
I think so.
I don't think
You're tired
so.
from
Ah.
yesterday, but super
It's been
superwoman
my eyes are
syndrome
even
is at
my
play.
eyes are even swollen.
So I think
You inspire me.
reading
So
a lot of quality books, meeting quality people intentionally. I remember the first time you walked up to
intentionally.
me, and it's intentional. It's very important in transforming your mind.
I
In
remember.
becoming, yeah, you walked up and you're like, this, you wanted to learn, you wanted to know more, and all of that, and you got it. You got more than you bargained for. you know. So, and most people, if you approach them, you want to learn something from them, they would open, especially if they feel you're serious. They will open to you. you know.
me. Okay, this is so frustrating. I'm so sorry. We'll round up now.
Okay, go
So you were
ahead.
saying meet people intentionally. You were saying meet people intentionally, and you were trying to narrate how we met.
Yes.
You were trying to narrate how we met. You were trying to say
Yes.
something about it.
No, I was saying that most people at times are reluctant to approach people they don't know because they think maybe they would snub them or they would, but when you, most people, yeah, there are exceptions to the rule, but most people would, help you. They will help you learn. They'll give you information you need and they'll be open. And I said in my own case, I think you got more than what you bargained for.
No. I didn't hear what you said. The line went off. That's why I wanted to repeat what you were trying to say.
Okay, okay, okay. So you got that?
No. No.
Can you hear me?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I was
Yes, I
saying
can hear
that
you.
I
I
said
was
that
saying that you were.
I said in my own case,
Go
you
on,
got
go
more than
on.
what you bargained for. You wanted to learn certain
Yes, that's
things.
what I'm saying. Okay, I can't even remember this conversation very well because one of the side effects of my being with drugs was large portions of my memory
Oh,
are currently temporarily lost. So if you
yeah,
say some things, I won't remember. I will just remember the incident. I won't remember
the
what
details.
happened. So please, don't be offended. Can you remind me what I said again? Because I want.
Yeah.
I'm even happy you brought it up.
So I mean, I just joined Green Park then, the school where our kids attend.
Okay, okay.
And you just walked up to me and you're like, oh, I hear you're the owner of Ashes, and you wanted to know one or two things, I mean, not immediately, but that was how a friendship was formed. And from there,
Eventually. Okay.
then we now saw that, oh, in church, and we'll meet, and you would always just having that access, to ask me anything you wanted, anything you didn't. It was getting more than what you even bargained for, and all of that. And yeah, yeah. So I
Okay,
think
okay,
I
okay.
just said
Yes.
that to say
You
that if you approach people, they will help you. They'll teach you if you need. They will mentor you. They will inform you. And at times all you need is just one sentence. Just one sentence is the missing link at times.
okay? Okay. I remember now. I remember now. Um, I remember, and I know more of it to come back to my memory.
Amen.
I would just love to say, and I'm happy to say, I'm happy to say that here on air. My relationship with you, you have been one of the very valuable people I've met in my life. Abuja is not an easy place to meet people who are sincere, who have a heart for God, who are really driven to be successful. We have all sorts of quotes, people quoted in different forms. So you are a very refreshing. I'm happy that I know you.
Thank you.
I couldn't even remember how, but you're one of those people that I'm grateful for knowing the way I do. I appreciate that
Same
you
here.
you treat me kindly, you allow me access to you. You're just willing to share, and I really, really appreciate it. And I'm happy I get to say that on air because I'm buttressing her point about meeting amazing people. Lara is super amazing. And you have no idea how very, very influential, how very powerful she is because she actually tries to be like your girl next door. She's not your girl next door. That's why I don't over familiarize, like I don't overdo. I know you, so that I don't abuse. I know how many people would die to have you, listen or to be in their association. So I really value I really value your awesomeness.
Okay.
And I'm
Very
happy
kind.
that let me stop
Very
talking.
kind of you. Very, very kind.
And I've learned a lot, and I'm still learning. I really hope
Awesome.
that the things that I have learned will show. I won't just be learning and always learning and never coming to the fullness of truth, but
Mm.
that you will see it, and you'll be happy to mentor me or show me the way even more, because you are seeing that I'm able to apply what you're learning. Thank you so much, Lara. The internet has tried to make today's class
Ah,
very difficult. It has
yeah.
made me angrier. I'm going to look for a solution around this internet so that I don't have these kinds of challenges when I'm either teaching or having some powerful guests teaching, and then we keep having this break in transmission. So I'm so grateful you took the time to be with us. I
Thank
truly, truly, truly appreciate it. I will work on your bio. I will get proper details so that when we edit this, we'll introduce you properly, and then we'll edit out all that rubbish I was saying in the beginning.
you.
I was just so
Okay.
tired. I was just so tired. So,
Okay.
in a few words, in your last words, what would you like to say to our audience? Those who think they are ready to reposition for wealth and opportunities by reinventing themselves. What would you leave them with this evening?
Okay. What I will leave you with is that number one, I want you to know that you're good enough. You are all you need. And everything you need is in you. Is not out there. Is not with who left. Is not with who is not helping. Is with you. And you're good enough. And you're all you need. So go out there and do what you need to do. If there's any time, again,
Okay.
I'll use this season, this painful season of losing this Osinachi lady to buttress my point. Never wait till it's too late. Don't wait till it's too late. It's too late for her now. Do what you need to do now, because you are not assured of tomorrow. You only have today. Take advantage of this today that you have, knowing that you are all you need and you are good enough. You are awesome. And the world is waiting for your awesomeness. I am waiting for your awesomeness. OC is waiting for your awesomeness, and you will make it if you try.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mrs. Omolara Fatunbi. This has been a very inspiring. I don't know if you guys have learned as much as I have learned. I have been taking notes here. I already see some things that I'm on track, and I also see some places I need to make some adjustments. So if you're here, that means that there's something in your heart that tells you need to reposition, you need to reinvent, you need to revolve into who God has made you to be. So don't be in a hurry. At the same time, like she said, don't waste time. Make sure you start patiently, build, and she said build it consistently like a child for a long time. Have that mindset that you are in the game to play for the long haul. So don't treat it shabbily, because you are going to your bio in the future is the choices and decisions that you are making today. That reinvention that you want people to know you for in future, something that would be your legacy, are the choices and decisions that you're making today. So she has left us with very valuable. I'm going to do something, on my social media handle, as much as possible. But if you know anyone who needs to watch this video, if you know someone who needs this, please do not hesitate to let us know so that we can share this awesomeness with them. We've gained so much value here today. There's so much to go and process and determine what to start working on. Do not waste time. Do not waste time. We dedicate this episode to people of domestic violence.
Yeah.
We dedicate it to, for those who do not know, whatever time you eventually watch this video, we discovered that one of our prominent, talented gospel artists was killed as a result of domestic violence, spousal domestic violence. And there has been a meltdown on the Nigerian space, the internet. So we are asking that if you are a victim of this, or you know someone who is a victim, please do not wait till it's too late. Lara's last words were, "Do not wait till it's too late. Start today." So even if the person does not is not willing, there's what is called intervention. Stage an intervention. Visit the home. Visit the couple. Do not go alone. Go in maybe a pack of 3, 4, several people. Visit them, and then bring up the topic, saying that you are now aware. I don't know. Maybe should be something for another time. But the point I'm making is, if you know something like this is going on, do not turn a blind eye. You can find a way to report. But then Lara has made a very valuable point. If you are not ready to accept that change, if you're not ready to make that decision, no one can really do it for you. So please, if you're a victim, make the first move. Seek help. All right? Seek help. If you are going on to be successful, become that powerful personal brand that you want to be known as, you must take charge of your own life. So if this has been of value to you, make sure you join us in our other series. We're going to be bringing some interesting people with powerful stories. And then we too will be applying our stories and making sure if you're applying it and it's working, you want to come on and share with us what you are getting, we'll be happy to have you here. This is your Reinvention Secrets, and I'll see you in our next video. Thank you, Lara, and have a good evening.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, darling.